Hello, everyone. This is Jim joining you once again from Stardust Services. And just this morning, the god of war, the warrior planet Mars, entered the family and home sign of Cancer. And Cancer is that energy of comforts and nurturing and hot meals and mom and security and defending oneself against the cold elements of the weather or defending oneself against whatever might disrupt our lives. And Mars is the warrior. And so Mars into Cancer, and Cancer is a very nostalgic sign. It's a sign about the past, and it's about reminiscing, and it's about families, and it's about our ancestry and our origins and our heritages and the stories that inform our lives and the wisdom that we carry with us from our ancestral histories. And so I'm remembering this line from a movie, and the old man is giving the young guy a pep talk about life. And in the end, he tells this whole big story, and at the very end, he kind of synthesizes and distills everything down, and he goes, "You know what, Virgil? Folks just got to have something to look forward to." And I thought about that line. It's from a great movie with James Earl Jones and Robert Duvall called A Family Thing. Speaking of cancer and the family, folks just got to have something to look forward to. It's so simple, and yet it's so profound. We got to have something to look forward to. You could translate that as having a need for hope, to have hope, especially when things are not going too well, either in your personal life, in your family life, in your community life, or in your national or world situations. We have to have some sort of hope. And then you can translate hope into faith. Like, I have to have faith in humanity. Like, the people are basically, if all their needs are being met, they can be good people. And it got me thinking, when I was younger, when things were going really well for me, and still to this day, when everything's going really well for me, the first thing I want to do is to celebrate and to share it with others and to give it away in generosity. And I want to check in with other people to see if they're doing well. And if not, to see what I can do to pitch in and give a hand. And the opposite is also true. When we're not happy, when we're frustrated, when we're dissatisfied, when we're suffering from discontent or disillusionment, or we don't agree with what's going on or the way people are running things, we tend to contract and we start to worry about things. And when we worry, we shut down our hearts. We put armor plating over our hearts to protect ourselves from getting hurt. And I'll never forget when I was in India in 2003. I went on a pilgrimage to a holy city there, a 5,000-year-old city. And I remember studying with my teacher, and he said, there's two things in life. There's desires, Mars is the planet of desire. He says, then there's needs, and Cancer is the sign of our most basic needs. He says, so everyone has basic needs: water, food, shelter, clothing, community, interaction, love, support, encouragement, medical care. These are needs. These aren't desires. He goes, but there's one need that is paramount, that's above all of these other ones. The greatest need of every person, he said, is to love and be loved without fear. To love and be loved without fear. He said this is the primary need of every living thing, even puppies and kittens, and they're all of us. We want to be accepted as we are. We want to be held like a little baby. I remember getting lost in big shopping malls with my mom. I would wander off, mesmerized by a toy store or something, and she'd be talking to a friend, and I would just for a few seconds, I would wander away. And then I would wander too far away, and I'd look around and I'd realize I didn't know where she was. And I would panic because my source of love had been disconnected from me. But this still perpetuates in the world. And so I realized, when people are doing terrible things, when they're invading other countries, or they're being aggressive or violent, or they're destructive, or they're angry, it simply means that this primary need isn't being met, to love and be loved without fear. Because when people have enough water, enough food, enough clothing, enough shelter, enough medical care, they're still miserable when they're not being loved, or when they don't have someone to love. That's why so many of us have pets. Because if we're single and we don't have a primary life partner to go through our experiences with, we get a pet. Why? Because the need to love is so strong. We would rather lavish it on a small animal than to just, like, you know what I mean? So all of the horrible things that have been done to us, traumas, and that we have done to others, and we do as a race to other races, and countries to other countries, on every level, stems from the fact that we just don't feel okay inside. This is the energy of Cancer. Cancer is stability and nurturing and warmth and a sense of belonging. And it first has to be in that core group of when you're being raised as a kid, being loved and being accepted, and to be able to share that love, to give and receive affection, that warmth. When you feel the heart opening up and you're able to give and receive love. And of course, through the ages, bands have sang songs like the Beatles. Love is all there is. Love is all there is. Love is all there is. To love and be loved without fear. So when we see people doing terrible things and we want to criticize them and judge them and denounce them and tear them down, we have to also remind ourselves that, hey, we don't condone what's going on. We're not promoting that. We don't agree with it. But we also can have a compassionate heart and go, you know what? They're not happy. Because if they were truly satisfied and accepted and loved and were being loved and were giving love, they wouldn't be doing that. They wouldn't need to. So anyway, this is just some reflections of the warrior planet entering the sign of the home and the family, and nurturing and acceptance and safety and all those other things. So now that Mars will be transiting the sign of Cancer until May 20th, as always, I'm wishing you all the very best. And I'll talk to you later.